Come on. Seems like this is all turned out to be. Let's try this out.
Do you have a message or something? There's a little dot right there.
PR. Well, that's the conversation that I should have going. Oh, cool. All right, Mondo, awesome. No problem. We didn't actually get started till a few minutes after any rate. I had some issues because evidently the power went out. And I had the auto start of the virtual machine set to the old domain controller. So that meant that started up and didn't work. So I realized that last night. I wasn't going to drive in last night, so I waited until this morning. So that's all set up. At any rate, so that's why I'm a little bit behind today. I also like to take a few minutes, well, typically a little bit more, just to kind of go over stuff that, you know, we'll be talking about for class that day, just so that way I don't sound like a loon. But ironically, I really didn't need to do that for this class, because if you guys are looking, you will see that under, like if we go to, not module 1, we want to go to the other thing. Let me get to that, there you go. If I go under general, and we look under assignments, we've got 2 of those that are due. They're assigned, so there's mod 1, lab 1, and then there's mod 1 homework. Several of you done homework. Any problems with that or issues?
I haven't tried.
No? Went pretty smooth? You just go click, do some answers, ta-da, it's done. So that works out pretty nice. And, but that first one, right, the mod 1, lab 1, that one's a little different. And that requires some effort on your part on multiple fronts. So what we need to do today is make sure that everyone knows how to use that and to get into it, and knows like the difference between signing in to Visual Studio with the account that you're sharing with your team and the account that you may sign in with your Defiance account versus like not signing in at all. So I want to take today to go over any of those issues, questions you might have. Some of you may not have even looked at that yet. Well, today's the day that you have to do that. So for example, Mondo and Parker and Coltrane, you'll need to remote into the computers here. So I can work with you on that. I did, and this is how I found out there was a problem in the lab. I was making videos on how to remote in. If you remember last year, we used Google Chrome and all that. So really, for you guys, it shouldn't be that big of a deal because you already should know. All that you really need to know is what the password is and what account you're using. Right? Good. Well, unfortunately, we won't see you on Thursday or Friday, whenever this class meets next. Yeah, and if you're wondering, there's that conversation. So here's the deal. I can email you because again, I want to make sure that we limit as much as we can. Like I'm not going to give the password for every single account to every single student because that really doesn't make sense. You know, if there's some kind of problem or issue, that's harder to track down if there's a bunch of people with those credentials. So what I'd like to do is give you each individually the ones that you need for the computer that you need to remote into the lab for. Okay, so for example, Michaela is sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She's sitting at PC8, so she would use the Dana 08 at Defiance.edu account in Google Chrome to remote into that computer, right? For example, Parker, you're at lab 11, so you would use Dana 11. So I know I need to at least do that for those 3 people, so they can remote into the computer so they have access to Visual Studio with all the stuff that they need on it. So if you're one of those partners, Harry, like your 2 year partners are not here, so I'll have to get them set up first. Michaela, you can work with Ben.
Mama should be doing that today.
What's that?
Mama should be doing that today.
Yeah,
So that's what
but I'm saying for him to remote into the lab here, I have to work with him. So he could make sure that he knows how to use the account. So what you guys want to work on today, with the exception of like Devin, I got to work with Parker so he can remote in. But you guys are going to want to probably go in at least at a minimum to your team and do some collaboration in there, start talking, start figuring out, hey, when are we going to work on this lab? There's a lot of stuff to it. How are we going to parcel this out? So you're going to figure out today what it is, how you're going to work on this lab, make sure you can work on the lab. And then on Thursday, right, we'll all be remote. So everybody should be remoting into these computers, unless of course you have Visual Studio set up on your own system, and that's all working fine and dandy for you. But Thursday, it's going to be like another work day, because I want to make sure that everybody's got this process down and can do it, since you have homework due like next Monday. Yep.
I have a lot of questions about the lab because I went over it and some things are really unclear.
Okay. Let's do this first. Let's, because I could probably spend all day talking about it. I really want to get us to make sure we can get in, because at a minimum, here's what we can do. Without knowing anything about classes and how to make these files and all this stuff, we at least need to get in there and get connected, make sure we can create a project, and then when you're done with it, someone else can log in and see that same project. So we need to get that figured out. And that's with nothing, right? That's like no working program at all. So let's focus on that, and then let's come back to questions about the lab, because maybe we end up tackling those on Thursday, or if they're questions that require a lot of discussion, again, I'll just make a video and just be like, okay, here's all this stuff. Okay, so let's do that. Again, work in your team, in teams here, and talk amongst yourself. You may want to start, I don't know if it's going to be beneficial for you to start a meeting with that other person so you can talk that way, or you could just chat in here. Again, you just got to figure out what's going to work best for you. All right, so let me get the stuff to everybody else here as far as the credentials so you know how to log in. Make sure, is there any questions from the remote? I don't see any.
I'm trying to sign into Chrome under Dana 11 at defiance.edu. What's the format of the email? Is it
Yeah,
like
here
Dana?
you go. Yeah, let me, it won't really matter if it pops up there. Okay, cool. Yeah, the format looks like this. So if you're doing 11, right? And then, any other account, like the weird one would be, let's say, if you're doing a single digit number, right? Something like lab computer 8 would be 08. And then I'll just message you, Parker, and Ben, and Tom, and Armando, your guys' password. So I'll message it individually, like in a chat, so it just goes to you. So let's see here. Okay, and then, because the password will be maybe different. I don't know, might not be. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to enter PA $WZRD and it's not working.
All right, yeah, there's your password to go along with that user account for signing into Chrome. Mondo, you're using PC. You took my, oh, I left my spiral at home. Shoot. PC 18, right? 18.
I only saw the spreadsheet for a split second.
Yeah, PC 18. So that is the username, Mondo, and the password is this. Okay. Coltrane, your stuff is 15. And the password is that. And then what else are we forgetting here? We need Ben. Okay. Yeah, yours is a little weird because you're going to be actually using PC9, but I think I named it 10. Yeah. That one might be a little weird, but you should be all right. The account, and then here's the password. Okay. So everybody has the stuff so you could remote in. And if you're not familiar with that process, I don't know.
Are you trying to show a spreadsheet with all the usernames and passwords? Because I've only been seeing it for like a split second at a time.
Well, actually, yeah, you shouldn't. Like I said, usernames and passwords. Like if you see that, like we really, I shouldn't. Like I said, I don't want to share that with everybody. So I mean, if you, why? What do you need?
I need a password to sign into Google on Google Chrome.
Right. So if you check your messages, let me see here. If you go to messages, it's on the chat on the left-hand side. You'll see your password there.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Okay, so like I said, you guys want to be working together. I don't know, like Jess and Steck, like if you're working on stuff like outside the class, that's fine. I don't know if you guys got a plan together for logging in here.
I've been trying to log in. It wants either an authentication phone number or an authentication email. I don't know what you want us to do for that because it's a shared account.
Right, so you shouldn't have to put in any authentication. Can you bring it up so we can look?
Yeah, I have it right here.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to actually stop recording this only because I want to do